Know what you're doing.
I started putting markings on because I'd already sprayed it a semi-gloss really, because I haven't got any gloss varnish. I've got some varnish that is satin, and I've added some gloss medium, which has made it a bit lighter. But that indentation there is where an exhaust sticks out, also here and here and here, so there's 4 positions. And the exhaust is quite characteristic. All the pictures, especially this one, there's a great flow of tan grey exhaust heat coming out of here, and it'll come out of here too underneath. So it clearly flows, it's drawn down by the flow over the wing, but still flows over the bottom of this marking. So I've had to put this marking on before I start trying to do that exhaust staining. So I've got to let that set. I've used setter and softer, so that's still settling in. I want it to set more onto the surfaces.
Oh, named after you, Mr. Marks.
True.
Did they name it after you?
Yeah.
Of course they did.
And having found my reference book, which I've had for ages, I think I bought that in Barnstable second hand. Reference book on Hellcats.
Wait. Thank you. Move on.
Lots of the pictures show this long range tank hanging underneath it. So I thought, well, I better add that. The trouble is, you're supposed to, if you want to add that, you're supposed to add it earlier on in the process before you glue the fuselage together.
Oh dear.
And there we are. And I haven't done it, so I'm doing it a bit late. So it's a little bit of cautious guesswork. So I'm cutting out this slot.
Oh, that's what you've been doing with files and
to carry this long range tank, because flying in the Pacific, you know, they had to fly massive ranges to reach their targets. I'll have to do that in white and so on. But so that's where I've got to.
Okay. Were these used in the Battle of Midway?
No, they came later than Midway. At the time of Midway, the Americans, the principal fighter was the Wildcat, which is a predecessor of this, quite similar, a bit smaller, which sort of just about held the line against Japanese Zeros, which was the principal Japanese Navy fighter. The Zero was better than the Wildcat, more manoeuvrable, longer range, about the same speed, I think. And this is, what, 42, early 1942. The disadvantage of the Zero is built for range and manoeuvrability. Good armour, but a very light structure. It carried no armour plate. I don't think it had self-sealing tanks, whereas the Wildcat did have armour plate behind the pilot and self-sealing fuel tanks. So the Wildcat could come off best, and they learnt to use techniques to combat the manoeuvrability and speed of the Zero. Thatch weave was one. If you had two Wildcats flying in formation, being pursued by Zeros, they would weave across each other. So if a Zero attacked one of them, then the second pilot, the other one, could come in behind the Zero and attack it. Apparently quite effective. But so the Hellcat came slightly later, bigger engine, more powerful, faster, and was superior to the Zero in almost every way. Did a lot of the work before the Corsair arrived. The Corsair carried on.
Are you moving on to another aircraft now?
Well, you wanted me to talk about Wildcats.
No, I didn't.
Didn't you?
No.
Oh, all right then.
I asked you about, was that in the Battle of Midway?
No, it wasn't.
And as usual, it's TMI.
But you tell me that people like the history.
They do, but you're going to have to do it in little bits.
That was a little bit.
Was it?
There's an awful lot
Yeah, but
more.
you're moving on to... I know, but
Yeah, but how much time have we got?
don't move on to Corsairs at this point. I'll let you talk about the Corsair that you made, if you can find it,
Well,
another day.
All right, another day.
Okay. You can stop now.
Thank you very much.
And I'll just zoom in on that. And
I've also put transfers on the propeller. Makers markings. And glued the main wheels together. They're still setting.
okay, thanks.
Right.
Bye.
Ta-ra.